Damchoe. Yeah, in the way. Yeah, big boy coming. Maybe you can put under him with a cushion. Yeah. He liked to watch Devil's Press. Just follow him. Rocket. Anyway, today also a very good opportunity. Everybody come together. We study something and we learn some Buddhism. Anyway, first everybody set up the perfect motivation to achieve benefit all sentient beings, therefore achieve enlightenment. I do opposite.
So, generally the proper motivation, thinking that I must achieve state of full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. For that reason, I'm going to listen to this teaching.
I said that, I said backwards. Some who learns Tibetan, also, they learn something back differently. The same as my English. 다 관심은 또, 다 내려기 식으로 나오죠. 제시성한테 다 거꾸로 삼으셔야 돼서.
So anyway, we're very fortunate to be able to study these kind of teachings.
아니, 다 산지 좀 된 데기 주로종 전에 아니 산지 좀 된 데기 때 지죽 제거예요 말해서.
So in order to study Buddha's teaching, you don't have to be a follower of Buddha.
간지 대라 때니 수수를 지금 레베자 간에 레바이나 렌지가 이렇게 레바이나 수수고 밑에 집이 이자 터치가 아니 다 로타가 팽겨요 그래서.
So if you can gain anything good from that, then you can get it. You don't have to be a follower of Buddha. So by following that or by gaining that and practicing that, if that can benefit your activities of the day, that will be for your own gain, right?
아니 다 남의 추세에 관리해서나 아니 다 샘돼야지 다 다시 이래서 그런까지.
So anyway, what is Buddhism or Buddha's teachings? The Buddha's teaching is a method or means to subdue one's mind.
아니 샘 가르치 때워서 나 간지다 샘 좀만 봐도 말하고 그래서.
And what we mean by subduing our mind, is trying to make our mind not follow the delusions.
간지 마치 무분해서 신경 많이 받다 또 하고 있나 다른 무슨 뭐 하고 말해서.
And so ultimately, if we are able to understand the reality, the actual mode of existence of the phenomena, how the things actually exist, if we know that. What is their reality, then our mind will not follow the delusions.
아니 산지 좀 된 얘기 강시 가요. 강게 땡지 들어가지고 다 추 탐지 간지 힘받아 다 땡내 정말 땡내 따바래 해서 그러더라고.
So everything, all the phenomena, how they exist are how they exist is through interdependence, through depends on something, like cause and condition, or by depending on the imputation and so forth.
아니 땡주셔야 돼. 아니 땡주 라파다, 땡주 차이 잡으면 멈춰야 돼.
And so when we talk about the interdependent, it's like depending on each other, or depending on something else. There are different levels, like subtle and gross levels.
아니 산지 좀 된 데가 덴바시 나오자. 다 지체 땡주에서 손을 들어와.
So Buddha has taught the Four Noble Truths. So the two truths, the first two truths, the cause and effect, and the next two truths, that's being the cause and effect.
And tell a tendy ta call and judoku, and it tell you junior
And then through that also Buddha has taught 12 link of interdependence in terms of how sentient beings enter into cyclic existence and how they can free themselves from cyclic existence.
every time that I want to Pabongka Rinpoche,
So this drawing is called the Wheel of Life, and as you might have seen outside in the Tibet, where we have the picture of that Wheel of Life.
아니 친구들아야 샤치 줄치 아빠 어떤 뜻이냐 이거 내 자신의 무슨 생각이에요.
And in the center, there are these three animals, like the snake, the rooster, and a pig. So those three animals symbolizes the three poisonous delusions, like attachment, anger, and ignorance.
아니 대지 양원의 출발했나? 아니 고아라 땡데로 주님은 고아를 고래서 저거들 땡데로 주님은 손을했어.
And so if we fall under the influence of these delusions, and then through that we'll circle in cyclic existence, and how we do is through the 12 link of interdependent risings, and that is predicted at the outside of that life, the life, the wheel of life. So normally in the monasteries, at the entrance of the monastery or the doorway, either on the left or right side, they have this portrait or the drawing of the wheel of life. So they have drawn the picture of the Lord of Death. It's called Lord of Death, and the whole wheel of life is held by him.
It's a little quiet.
Is there a speaker? Is the mic on?
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
Any louder?
Can you hear now?
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. Okay. What in the end, I don't know. Pabongka Rinpoche. Yes, I just wanted to share you the
And so that the drawing, the custom of drawing that wheel of life was established during the time of Buddha.
And as Yagi Jaboshi, something joined in the Laya, a market, Kotoshi, and pure embrace, such a time of calling. And the two letters and joined in the park, and the Yabodia, and the Pabongka Rinpoche, then go to near the mother page of Pankasi, the children of the church, the one who was she saw you as Mark Kotoshi, not the school. The Sunday joined the Laya, Yagi Jaboshi.
Good.
되게 내가 세종대 봐 이스방고 지네 꼴꼴 되네는 아무도 배우지
So how it started is like during the time of Buddha, there was a king who was devoted to Buddha, and he offered armor to a Buddha, the armor that the armies wear in the battle. So that armor, he offered armor to Buddha, and in response to that, then Buddha made a drawing of the wheel of life and offered it to the king. And so what it actually indicates is that death and impermanence is what should meditate and contemplate on death and impermanence. So that's why it is actually placed at the entrance of the door. And this said there's the Lord of Death, is drawn in a picture form as like a monster, holding this big wheel of life. So whenever he, closes his mouth, then we die. So our life ends, and whenever he closes his mouth, then we die.
And if that she was a she not order to
And then actually in the center of those three poison delusions, and outside of that, is the 6 realms of existence, 6 realms, the 3 lower realms and the 3 upper realms. So after we die, what happens to us, or to what happens to our mind? Is it follows to one of these 3 births.
대 간지 맞에 다 이게 생생한 양게 와나 대다 초와대 양거나 간지 다 니네들이 이어져야 대다 빨간 거 키는 거 답장 걸어왔어.
So it is just to show that this is what happens, this is what sentient beings will experience when they are alive, when they die, and how they are born, and so forth. So that's depicted in a form of picture.
근데 디나다 뭐를 다 가서 몇째도 왔어.
And in the 6 realms, there's one of the 3 upper realms are the human beings. So right now, we are born as human beings, right?
근데 나도 전도다 샤시고 쳐도다 전도지는 되어요.
And so the birds, the dogs, the cats, and so forth are the animals.
원하든지 간이처럼 나왔다. 대제야 대. 아니 내 야보사나 아니 전도줘야다. 내 야보 많이 봐서나 아니 전도줘 그래서.
And so what determines what kind of rebirth we're going to have in the future is our karma. If we have created a good karma, the result will be a good rebirth in the higher realms. And if we have created bad karma, and if that is what happens at the time of death, then we're going to be born in the lower realms, in the 3 lower realms.
원하 레드 수사는 다 레드랑 수사. 레드랑 수수 깨게 레드랑 수사래서.
And so who creates this karma? It's ourselves. We are the one who create this karma to be born in such and such realms.
원하 레드 간이사는 다 말이 봐 미시도 못 그래서.
And how do we create the karma? What causes us to create karma is our delusions, the ignorance, the attachment, anger, and so forth.
말이 뭔가 내서 다 레지 파자다 남식들이 살다 마치니 진짜 이거래서 주니서.
So this is the true link of the rising. So the first we have this ignorance since we understand, and then out of ignorance we create karma, and then whatever karma we have created, the imprint of that karma is left in our consciousness.
어디지? 어디리마다 땅을 진짜 땡주고 쇼라야 남주 상담하고 그래서 대 거치 잡아나 아니 되는 때 봐서네 아니 땡주고 걸 때네 지금 다 땡주랑 참고서 걸어 봐도 있나 아니 지금 요인에서 내가 가르쳐 왔나 요인에서 신이 제와나 다시 와서 한번 요봐.
And so when we understand about the causal dependent risings, like the dependent rising in something coming into existence by dependent cause and condition, that is a little bit easier to understand. So it's called the gross interdependent. And then you understand how things are positive and such, and how that's how they come to exist. So it all depends on the imputation. So how things are imputed as such, and then that thing comes. So it depends on its imputation. And so those are a little bit difficult to understand. So that becomes more like the subtle interdependence.
아니 먼저 미시바 말이 온게 아니 로타 아니 근데 로타다 론도 로타 이거 와도 되니 또 쇼는 로타 이래서 봐.
And then also there is this, of course, ignorance is the base, and then on top of that we have the wrong views. Thinking that this is what it is not like that. So that wrong view, because of those the views, the wrong views, then we create again many non-virtuous actions.
간제 수수 쌈수지 크네. 이분에 얘는 맞다지만 수수 쌈사가 수수 따와지 크네. 근데 내가 지금서 말라 당연히 따와시 좀 잘하고 그래서.
And so, not in accordance with the reality, right? Whatever view that you have, you think of something of such and such, and it's not in accordance with the reality, then that's the wrong view.
어떤 다른 가르치는 내용은 또 다른 거 맞자고 연구해서 그래요. 대용 거예요. 또 수수가 따와지 그 따와지기야. 그래서 또 맞자기. 수수 강화싸마 수수 강화치와 연습이 따로 시절로 로타 시절로 돼요. 소양 투사 다 맞아서 두고 그래서.
And so then that kind of the mistaken view or the wrong view, I think it falls back into the pride. So because of the pride or arrogance, then you hold very strong to your view, thinking this is my view, and this is how I think things are, and so forth. So because of that strong pride, holding to your view, then you get these wrong views.
나도 그때 예배에 참 들어왔대 가지 소수 삼만원씩 좀 와서 소소로 거기 제일 못 되고 있었다. 나도 그때는 공부 주변에 되는 거 봤어.
So whenever we have some kind of problem, it's all because of things not happening the way we want, right? Or somebody didn't speak the way I want them to speak, or somebody didn't treat me in a way they want me to treat. I mean, they want the way that I want them to treat me, and because of that, it's all because of not getting along with your thought or your view, and that's why you feel trouble.
And drum 배나 아무도 샤 아무도 레벨 and that more that drum 가지 레벨 코란 데다 사자 추도 까네 가지 고다 당도만 하대 이래서.
So there's a story about a turtle. Was residing in a place where there was water, so it would go and enjoy the water. But then the water dried, and it was left a dry, flat ground.
And then tell that Johnny for it, Johnny. And then Johnny said, "I'm going to go down the Saja. The touch comes off. I'm not going to do this. Go for it. I'm going to share our shares. I could call it. Some joy of the picture of the shadow in the love.
And then these two crane birds came by, and then they saw the turtle having some kind of trouble, not finding water and so forth. And then they asked him, what happened. Then he told the story that the water dried, and he's desperate now. He thinks he's going to die here in this land and so forth.
And he cried. And they chatted about that and some many lot of years, and some was. And they calling each other, hearing all the kilo. Generally, people on the car with some shows, and they chatted with Patrick to Sunday. I couldn't
and so these two birds said, "You don't have to worry. We'll have a way to help you. So we're going to bring a stick, a long stick. So each of us we're going to hold the end of the sticks, and then you hold with your mouth in the middle of the stick, and then as we fly, then we'll take you to other place where there's water."
And they catch the time, catch it down, cannot hear the Kuitami for love, cut away.
So you're holding with your mouth, so don't open your mouth at all. If you open your mouth, you will die. And so the two birds holding the stick on each end, and then carried the turtle who was grabbing the stick with his mouth, and then they flew up in the sky to go to different place where there's water.
And in bits that chat is a country, a lot of young could carry out care of this music called lava.
So then people saw them flying in that way, so they were so amazed. This is what a clever way to take somebody like that. And they were all wondering whose idea it was. And so then he thought the birds told him not to open mouth so that they can take all the credit having such a wonderful idea. And then he said, "Oh, I should tell them that it was my idea." Then he opened to say, "It's my idea." He opened his mouth. Then you know what happened, right? So if you still don't know, then he fell down. And he smashed on the ground and he died. And so anyway, not trusting the people who are trying to help him, and then going under the influence of that arrogance, and he lost his life. And so it's called Satya Geshe. It's like the eloquent speech of Satya. And there's all these nice stories like this related with the teachings.
I don't have enough of
What story? Sorry. What's the name?
Oh, the eloquent speech of Satya.
Eloquent
speech.
Okay.
So it has all these nice, very interesting stories like this in that in that text.
And also one story, I can tell you not to all just. And that kuma jichumuji is what. And the cruise like Chintelaya, Amachi, Puchi, and a ratchet is unique, and this is your rest. But the Amadan, Ratchman, put it up, put it pitch. Karjupato, Jamshu, your rest.
Then another story is there was this rich thief, and in his neighborhood there was this old lady with a son and a goat in her possession, and the son was very, very clever, very smart guy.
다 코나에 라치면 라마치면 이나다 거기 단다 지침보에서도 손아파 쳤네 미션받네 잘라서 야 아니 코나 지침보에도 지 아니 저동바 쿠마동바지 나라야 또 침보지요 이카라 데미지 당했다 쿠마도 좀 고샤서 그래서
so he was very clever. So he went to the thief's house and pretended as he was that rich person, and he took a lot of things, money and other things from other people, and at his house, at the thief's house, he left a big like box or a sack filled with stone, and then he locked it with a big lock.
근데 아니 구마다 그 지침보지 콜 시워졌나 그 저도마다 구할래 그랬어. 저다 구마다 이 구말렌 자마 아니다 그 코스마레스 다쪽 마크마자서 땅이 잡아라고 해서 코스마레스.
And so because he thought he brought so many things that the thief saw that he has a lot of things, and the sack that he had filled with the stone and locked, so the thief thought that was a very precious thing. So he tried to go to steal that, and when he was when he came to steal, the son caught him, and then so I caught you in stealing. I'm going to report this to the king, and you're going to be punished.
말만 태처럼 그냥 말하던 게 제가 정가자
Anyway, so then the thief said, please don't report this to the king. I will give you money. I will give you 500 coins.
이제 가지 더 그만 돈벌 도지면 말했으니 가지 고리 받아내 거서 공감자 거라고 그랬어.
So the sack is actually empty. It doesn't have doesn't have any valuable thing. It has only stones. But by using his brain, ideas, he was able to earn 500 coins.
근데 다 그래 당한데 일보다는 다시 그림을 좀 세게 했으네. 아니 고난기 배자도 저랬다 자와도 짜를 되더라고. 내가 눈도 주 눈도 치고 하나 라 또말이자 또말이자. 근데 그라도 치니까 세심을 고침을 했어.
And then so he said, if I stay here for a long time, they will find it out, and then I'll be killed. And so he took the 500 coins, apply them with the oil, and then stick it to the goat's the stomach body, and then he went away to a different place with the goat.
아니 그 메시지가 다 메시지라 온다 되네. 아니 쇼케도 가라고 그 락이 포래야. 그것도 있다네. 아니 베리치 상사로 근데 건들 때버렸어.
So then he stayed for overnight in one family's house, and then that night he took off one of the coin from the goat's body, and then they gave it to them as a payment for their hospitality.
아니 저 가르래 다시 우리도 가는 시간에 당연히 라데 이양했어. 저랑 가서 거는 고속에 쉬나 아니 가디나 우리도 고taan 거랬어. 이때라 말했더니 다 되게 지나고 다 라데 가서 또 치지. 저랑 가르고는 게 제가 있어. 아니 그 공은 내야 배신 치치치는 거를 쏘아했어.
So actually he kind of punched the goat, and then a coin fell down, right? So the owner of the house saw it, and says, "Oh, how did that happen?" And he says, "Oh, this is like a wish-fulfilling goat. It will give you whatever you want to give, whatever you want, it will give you." And then the person got very interested in that. He says, "Can you please tell me that I'll give you whatever you want for the goat?"
와, 근데 아니 그 고문 치치래. 아니 나도 좀 아니 아저한테 따라고 제거 또라고 제거해서 그것도 야부시로는 일단 너는 딱 말했어. 그 이대로 고양치 말했어.
And then he sold the goat for 10,000 coins, to that family, but he says you have to punch in the right way, and the punch in the right way, then it will not give you, the coins.
아니 지금 아니 다 테마까지 다 그까지 자주도 조금은 지금 가요 말이야. 다 그까지 마셔래. 동사디 도로라. 그 문제지 되게 거다. 원하는 대로 지금 말했어.
And so anyway, so he, of course, they keep on, the hitting or punching the goat in a certain way, so it fails, but then there was only about 500, so after some time, it will be all gone, right? So, and then, they saw that the goat is no more giving any coins, and anyway, so that they lost all this money, and the guy who was clever, he took the 10,000 coins and then went to Varanasi.
오다 틀바 다지 무시고 다 때문에 간지 다 로즈 빠요이나 다 간지 한번 매래 나와 마치와시 간지 답시야 오지는 거고 저래서.
So there's a long story like this. Anyway, so if you have, if you are clever, then you can, say deceive others in that way without even causing any harm.
저 한번도 뭘 땅에 경우 세우시오라 파시와 간지 다 고고 좋았어.
So some people they can deceive you just by, by smiling when they're laughing at you and so forth.
간지마저 단단히 빼셔도 인지가 되는 것입니다. 이거는 디나다 로직 뭐 쉬워요.
So anyway, I'm not sure if that text, the elephant speech of the Satya is translated into English or not. But if it is, then it's really nice stories you can read also.
간지마저 땅도 남게 주고 싶어요. 저도 가는다. 여기에서 야고 또 야고 학교 지고 그래서 때내가 지고 그래서
So anyway, the most important thing is to understand the reality, what it really is, how things really exist and so forth.
아니 나도 샘 뜻을 같이 줘야 봐요. 샘.
Subduing the mind is very important.
나도 그는 니마치 쇼게 야라는 말에 수습을 띄워야 와이나 아무래도 도자로 되지. 네, 저 거예요. 이제가 답변사서 딱 다시 같이 들려서는데 시가시가지 항상
If your mind is subdued, is controlled, then even if you hear very bad news, and of course you will feel bad that it happened, but then you will think, oh, such bad thing happened, but what can I do to fix it, or what can I do to make it less soften and so forth? You will not be like devastated, with all this thoughts and thinking, this is the end of it and so forth.
다 쇼게 야도 수수 스메 띄우면 가이나 아니 수수 저 때문에 아무나 조금 지금 개모셔 봐요. 다 수수 간데 근데 다 소모시 지는 우상이 수수 생각 텔레파 맞지는 거 왔어.
So if your mind is not happy, and in the morning, even if you see your partner, spouse, or boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, who, even if they're smiling at you, you still, feel unhappy and angry, and thinking that this person has done this and so forth.
저들의 양녀들의 여와서 같이 소소 세번 맞지 까려야 가지고 간지는 가지는 세번 말만 하고 거.
And so have you ever had this kind of experience, like when you're unhappy, no matter how other people treat you, you always feel angry or unhappy.
소 세번 찌고 얘나 지 가지고 지 니야로 갈 거다 나도 싫어하는 거 봐.
So if you're happy, but no matter what other people do, whatever they do to tease you or bother you, it doesn't bother you at all, right?
근데 나 사진 좀면 내가 장가 쓰는 영어서는 너는 사진 때문에 있을 때 내가 좀 싫어했어.
So that's why when Buddha said, subdue one's mind, and this is the teaching of Buddha, it has great importance.
다 너가 돼 단다 스마 그러나 제가 가지 내 자신은 빈고 대화는 말어서와 무슨 거 한거나 다 약고 말해서.
And so anyway, what we have to subdue, is our mind, from following the delusions like the attachment, anger, and ignorance.
간지 맞지. 선배지고 순수 선배지고 수 제가를 미 파주 간지 가르쳐 나가서 선배지고 다 때들 소리 제가 제대로 말해서.
So mostly it's ourselves, who have to work to make our mind happy. I mean, others can provide some kind of support, but they cannot be the whole cause for us to be happy, so it has to be ourselves.
어떻게 다 텐제 륜주 류도 진짜 텐주 티네서 건조 참 쉽지는 싸웠다. 아니 위에서 하고 있나? 아니 당가서 지. 그래. 다 스마트로 생명모 와는 말로 어디 변경되고. 년에 제도 있나?
So if we think, if we are able to think about, how the things are, interdependent, how things are dependent on the condition, or dependent on the invitation, and so forth, then that will help us to be able to subdue our mind.
아니 먼저 가리나 강에 영어들한테 망쳐진 알아서 몇십에 오는 그 영어 요청도 힘들어요. 하고 돼.
So do you understand that most of the problems that we face are because of ignorance?
배 차샤가 있나서. 다 가서. 삼성 가서 차도라는 거 차도라는 거죠.
So sometimes we are jealous, right? Do you have jealousy?
맨날 jealousy. jealousy 간에는 용도 저는 상상다. 간에라고 생각했어요.
How does it come? You should think, how does it come?
아니 간지 뭐지 jealousy 영화가 맞아 쪼대. 간지 나를 코야, 나를 뭐야. 내 제왕이 제마도서 간지 나서 걸려고.
So the jealousy, is based on also grasping at the I, right? Because things, oh, he's better than me, or he's doing better than me, and people like more him than me, and so forth. So it's always that's me or the I, right?
이제 내 상관은 이제 내 제왕이 제마도서 소수 강치보다 딱딱 내세자 있는 상대가 와서.
자동.
저기다 대인 상대가 저걸로 와서 강치보다 제마도서. 그래서 강성을 상승하다 된다도니까. 뭐가 간지 내 제왕이 제마서 말내 제왕까지 대진당하고 저도랑 영어로
저도 말이야.
말이야. 그 말이야. 뭐 말이야. 그 말이야. 야채로서. 그때 그 내가지. 누가 다르는 제로.
And so anyway, so just like that, all the other delusions comes based on the I, because of grasping at the I. So you get pride or arrogance, thinking, oh, I am better than others. I can do this better than others, and so forth. So, or people like me more than others, and so forth. So because of that, you have the pride or arrogance. Or then when you don't like somebody, when you're unhappy because you don't like somebody, then also that is based on the I. They didn't do the way I want the things to happen. They didn't speak to me the way that, so because of that, I feel unhappy, I feel angry, and so forth. So all these delusions comes on the basis of grasping at the I.
근데서 대가라에 나서를 가지도 다 수술 해야 되고 콘로세가 뛰어가는 나서를 가지도 나서 가지도 가지상도 그때 상상을 했어.
And so at that time the I is very vivid, very clear, it's very strong, solid. And so that I is the I that we should be able to, try to apprehend at that time. Try to hold that I in your mind. Where's that I? What kind is that I, and so forth.
아니 다 산지 좀 되고 나서야 돼. 가지 또 따던데. 부모한테 또 나서는데. 사실은 얘는 말해서 하는 거죠.
So you have to be very smart, very clever, to be able to hold that I. Otherwise, it's very clever also. And, whenever you try to look for it, it just disappears. But when you're not looking for it, it's very solid, vivid there. But when you try to look for it, it disappears. You cannot find it. But what is actual I? An actual I is just the merely imputed I, right? The I that's imputed, imputed on aggregates as I. So to the group of aggregates, we impute that as an I, and that becomes the I. That's the actual I, right? So when we say there's no I or no self, it doesn't mean there's no self at all. So there's no independent I. There's no I, that there's no I like the one that appears to us. The I that appears to us, that doesn't exist. The independent I, that doesn't exist. But there is an I. There is an I can talk, I can see, I can smell, I can listen and so forth. So all these I, that exists. If it doesn't exist, then who is listening, who is seeing, right? So that I does exist, but there's no independent I. So do you look for eyes sometimes? So we might think that what is the point of looking for I, right? We all know the I doesn't exist. Then what is the point of looking for it? And so how strong the grasping at the I that we have in our mind, that much unhappy we are, right? So someone who has a very strong grasping at the I will never be happy, whether it's by himself alone or within the society or with a group of friends. So also a person with a strong grasping at the I will have a hard time getting along with the people in the community or society. And so I don't know if you have noticed this, but there are dogs who are grasping, who have a very strong grasping at the I, will not go along with other dogs and will just live by itself.
Maybe we don't see white dogs in here. Maybe you guys have no idea. In India and Tibetan, they're not white dogs.
Wild. Stray dogs.
If some dogs, they're friendly, all the dogs together. Some dogs, it's just, they don't want to go. All the dogs just stay there, Then all the dogs just run away.
Human beings are like that. And so at the times when you feel like I'm angry, I'm unhappy, I'm hungry, and so forth. At that time you're thinking of this I, right? Who is hungry, who is unhappy, who is angry, and then you should think of that I. What is that I? What does it look like, and so forth?
Maybe go to search in Google. Maybe you can find
So you have to input it, inside the website, right? So first somebody has to put it there, all the information somebody has to put it in, and then when you search for it, you will find it. If nobody had put the information inside that, inside the web, then you will not be able to find it, right? So in order to be able to find such an I, searching on Google, you should have somebody who has put it in there, right? If somebody had put it there, then you'll be able to find it. But so far nobody had been able to put it there, and so I don't think you'll be able to find it. By searching in the Googles. So who are you surprised of? Human beings or the technologies?
Which one?
Computers.
Which one you think more amazing?
Surprising or amazing?
Wait a minute. Anybody thinks technology, right? He said, "Oh, technology is amazing." Technology to really anything. Technology 지금 매려왔어. 네가 가서 해야 되나 봤어.
But it's the human being who created the technology, right?
근데 나도 미국 맞지는 건데 쟤는 나도 쟤만도 찌요 말해. 시계요 말해.
It's just that human beings are not using the full potential. Otherwise, if they use, then they'll be able to do anything.
단단한 이런 법서 뭐가 시대에서 다 추지 근데 지금 남의 와서 시대에서도 너무 민소야 돼.
So the atom bomb, atomic bomb, that everybody is afraid of, which is a small thing which can create a lot of trouble, a lot of destruction in the whole world, and it's created by human beings also, right?
들리마다 나도 가는 소소치 강화도 더 이 상도돼 하면서 근데 항상은 너무 미안하고 왔어. 다들 항상에 짜고나 되게 미제냐고 왔어.
So if we want to be surprised or amazed, then we should be amazed about human beings, right? Because human being is the one who created all these things.
근데 간단한 것도 산지에 샹주 생각했다. 계획에서 예대근데 관계를 샤시를 그렇게 찍었어요. 메시가 샘 용어를 정하고 마땅히 냠는 체에 산지에 차서 버린 거죠. 그 다른 산지가 그냥 말이야.
So also, the fully enlightened being like Buddha Shakyamuni, is also also a human being, who was a human being before. And then based on that basis, he practiced, and then he became enlightened. And so on the basis of human existence, and then he became enlightened. So the most important thing is the study, to know about the things. So once you have studied, then put it into practice or not is up to you. And so now we're going into the actual Buddhist teaching, and it's not very pleasant, but we have to go through it. No, it's not pleasant to hear. That's what I'm going to say. So if you think like that, if you think, if it's like that, then there's no point practicing. Again, also you should not think like that. And so now we're talking about the downfalls, right, or the disadvantage of not devoting to the Guru or lapsing to Guru devotion. So, so the third benefit of relying on the Guru is that you'll not be you'll not be harmed by the humans and non-humans and so forth. So anyway, so it's just talking about, now we're talking about if you lapse or if you devote, if you break the commitment of Guru devotion, if you break the commitment of Guru devotion, like if you disparage your Guru, say bad things about your Guru, or lose faith in him or her and so forth, then this is what's going to happen. It says you will not achieve the supreme state despite your reliance on Tantra. And so this is quoted again from the Buddha Samaja root Tantra. So as you can see, it is in the outline 77, right? And it says here, the sentient beings may have committed great sins such as the heinous crimes, but he can still succeed in the supreme vehicle, the great ocean of the Vajrayana. And so the sentient beings who have created the 5 heinous crimes, like killing his own father or mother, and killing the arhat, causing schism in the sangha, and killing arhat, or shedding of blood from Buddha's holy body, and so forth. So, and those are the 5 heinous crimes. So these are mostly the most the serious negative actions. Even if you have created this kind of serious negative actions, you can still purify them and be able to achieve the supreme vehicle. So if you, but it says, but someone who despises his master from his very heart may practice but will not succeed. So even if you have not created those crimes, but if you have despised your guru, then even if you practice tantra, you will not be able to succeed. So in our case, we haven't created the 5 heinous crimes in this lifetime at least, right? And have not despised our gurus, so we don't have to be afraid of that. And so, the benefit of relying on a guru is that if you rely on a guru in a proper way, then all your delusions will come to cease automatically, right? And so the disadvantage of not relying on a guru would be that it will not be seized, right? And then there's relying and then lapsing your guru devotion. There's the disadvantage of lapsing your guru devotion is that since though you seek the benefits now of the tantra, your practice will achieve only the health and the life. So this is for great sinners who have despised the gurus, right?
And then
because no matter how hard a person with lapsed excuse me, lapsed in commitments to his master may practice, he will achieve only the health. And so then it says in the ornament to the Vajra Vidaya, Vajra Hidaya, Tantra. So it says here, right, whoever despises his perfect master, though he be the best practitioner of every tantra, though he give up sleep and all distractions and practice well for 1,000 years, he will achieve the hell and so on. So do you have a doubt? Because in one hand we say if it is a sin, our native karma, it can be purified. But according to here, it says someone who has lapsed in his commitment to the guru, then well, in this case, like they lose faith in the guru and stay back as part of the guru, right? So if you have done that, then no matter what you do, even if you practice throughout day and night, and practice the tantra, the highest form of practices, and so forth, you will only achieve health. So it looks like it's saying that there's no way you can purify those negative karma, right?
You have that?
Do you think what it is? So that contradicts us. On one hand, it says if it is negative karma, it can be purified. On the other hand, this kind of negative karma looks like it cannot be purified.
What to do?
So do you think you can give the explanation of that? Normally we say if it is negative karma, it can be purified, right? The nature of the mind is a clear light. There's no prominent stain on that. It can all be removed. Right? Any kind of stain from the mind can be removed. And it looks like this kind of stain or the sin cannot be removed.
And 누구세든 둘로 잡아 치바 해서 둘로 까고 몰라 답변하지 마시고 치바 치지 않아요. 그래서 그 가치라고 해요.
So delusion in the mind, or the sins or negative karmas in the mind, it's just like the stain on a cloth, right? The stain is not the part of the cloth, not the nature of the cloth. It's just a stain that came on it afterwards, and if you apply a right application, it can be removed. So in the same way, any kind of negative karma, any kind of delusion that is not in the nature of the mind can be removed through practice, right? But here it's said that those who have despised his or her guru, even if they work, practice throughout day and night by giving up sleep and so forth, will still only achieve health and so forth.
And then, yeah.
I mean, can it only be purified by spending those eons in hell? Like, it's extra strength, steam remover sort
So that you're just staying in the hell, it's not purifying the karma. But here it's saying you cannot purify it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the problem is that to purify karma, you need to practice, and you need to know how to practice. The only way to know how to practice is to work with your guru. And if you have despised your guru, you will not have a guide to learn how to practice properly to purify karma.
So what if you have two teachers? So you have despised one teacher, but there's other teachers that you are studying from.
Good, yeah.
But what you said is good, actually. Your answer was good. So yeah, you have to know how to purify, right? You have to know, and in order to know, you have to study. And you have to learn, and there has to be somebody to teach you how to do that. So if we fell on the ground, how do we stand up? If we fall on the ground, how do we stand up?
Push ourselves up.
By depending on the ground, right? You have to stand up by the support, by being supported from the ground, right? Do you get some idea from that?
Support from the guru. So if you despise the guru, and the support.
So whatever negative karma you have created independence with the guru, then you have to purify it independent of the guru, by depending on the guru, right? So just like you fall on the ground, then you stand up by depending on the ground.
걔게 셴바 땜바 되게 셴바 때도 로가 되게 그또 손사 대파 다 되는 거 같아.
So you have left your guru, you have despised the guru, right? This guru, and then you just say, this guru is so bad, he's not good, I'm not going to study under him anymore. And then so you have created this negative karma of despising him, but you have the other guru, and then you rely on this guru. You say, this is a very good guru, and I'm going to serve him in thought and action and so forth, and you do that. But that doesn't help you to purify the negative karma that you have created in relation to this guru. And so whatever negative karma that you have created in relation to this guru, you have to purify by depending on this guru. So earlier, in the actually it's in Outline 76, where it says, if you have created a karma in relation to this guru, then you have to go and confess right in front of him. Say I'm sorry to him. If he's alive, right? If he has already passed away, then at least say that in front of his belongings like clothes and so forth. And so if you want to see that, it says here, right? In his presence, while he's still alive, if he's not, he should expiate then before some of his clothes at least and so forth. So you have to do that in front of that guru who you have despised. But by relying on another guru, you will not purify the negative karma created in relation to this guru. And anyway, there's a story, right? There's someone was taking bath, and then one person asked him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm purifying the negative karmas." And then this person, the person who asked, went carried a pot and filled with feces and so forth, and all this filth inside, and then he was washing the outside of it, outside of the pot. And then he said, "I'm washing it." And then the other person asked him, the one who said, I'm purifying your karma by taking bath. He asked the person, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm cleaning this pot, it's very dirty."
And
it says the dirt is inside the pot, you're not washing inside, you're just washing outside. Or washing outside, how will it help to get rid of the dirt from inside? And then he said, if you can purify your sins, which is in the mind, by washing your outside body, then why can't I clean the inside of the pot by washing the outside of the pot? So what we really have to wash, is the mind, right? There's one of the religion in India, because Ayapas, and they have to take bath every morning, around 3 o'clock in the morning, with the cold water, not a warm water, but with the cold water.
Maybe Jen, you saw usually in Sarah, in December, there's some couple months, 3 months, the Ayapa Puja. When they start the pujas, also, then no females cannot do that. It's only men. If the family that they go to serve, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 men, they build their own house. They're far away from their family. They every morning, 3, 4 o'clock get up, touch bath. Then all the day they do some puja. They can wear some their different clothes. Then they have to go some far away to puja. when they're going during the that time, all the rich people come to the number of years. Number of years. And because they can't come go there. Go to church. Go to the Sunday new so Mami to Nimaka only. Mando to number of years. And they come to come.
So when these people they're walking, the families who are not attending that retreat will have to lie on the ground on their path, and then these people walk over them.
Today,
So this at the Ayapas they have this it's a great festival at that time. So they have a lot of performance and people walking and lying on the ground and so forth. And so anyway, so these people believe that if you take bath early in the morning, that will purify your negativities. So this is how it is, but we don't have to worry because we have not despised our gurus, right? And so now we have to think why it is so heavy negative karma, to despise your guru. If we despise anybody, this man, none of which is actually right, our family, our friends, our parents, if we despise them, it's very negative, it's strong negative karma. But why is it, extra strong negative karma for despising the guru?
Okay, who give me answer? Who give me answer? Yeah.
Because Guru represents Buddha, so when you despise the Guru, you kind of indirectly you are despising Buddha. So.
That's true.
Well, she's good answer.
Okay, not everybody heard, so can we use the microphone when we're answering questions?
Oh.
Yes.
Sorry.
You have to turn all that.
Sorry.
You have to repeat again.
When you despise Guru represents Buddha, so you despise the Guru, you indirectly despise Buddha, so that's a big negative karma created.
So that's true, right? So Guru is a representative of the Buddha. So there's the Buddha's emanations, right? Like the 4 different kind of bodies the Buddha has, like the enjoyment body, emanation body, the truth body, and so forth. So have we ever seen on any of these Buddhas, any of these body of the Buddhas? So of course we want, as ordinary beings, we will not see the truth body and even the enjoyment body, and even when the emanation body, the supreme emanation body came, we were not fortunate enough to be there at that time and to be able to meet with him, right? And so, because we are not able to meet with all these the bodies of the Buddha, so he emanated in a form, so that in a form that would be inevitable for us to be able to see or interact with and so forth. So that is our Guru. So the Guru coming out in the form of our Gurus and to teach us the Dharma. So that's why the Gurus are the representative of Buddhas. So anyway, again, you should not misunderstand. I'm not trying to say that I am, like as I'm teaching here, I'm not trying to say I am the representative of Buddha. And so generally, the Gurus are the representative of Buddha. Therefore, if you despise the Guru, then it will be the same as despising
by Tango, country by Nas. And Mandu Sanjay Gita, some children to their chair, some children parent of Laku was.
So we can think in that way, right? So how it is, because we believe that Buddha is always working to benefit sentient beings all the time. But we don't know where the Buddha is, right? So how is he working to benefit sentient beings?
Today, but Sanjay is getting on the jail, government by their country. We should get to it. Not to send you to the charity, not to send you not to shoot your mother, Tengi. And it's easy that issue chupa. Kashina Kashi chupa. The Hindi chupa, Mama, not to get it. So, Kare, so Tawa to make it. That's a game. Lama could be sharing to us.
So we have, different gurus, right, in different forms. Whatever is most suitable for us, they come in that way, in that form to teach us. If we are Buddhists, we are Buddhist teachers. If we believe in Christianity, then there's Christian teachers, and so forth. So all these different teachers, they're coming in different forms to meet, with what is most suitable with the disciples, right? And so this is how the Buddhas benefit sentient beings. So that's not scary anymore. We just stop here.
If sometimes a teacher or who explains everybody, oh, I'm no problem. I'm well go to cheap, I like to be maybe so. If we think good things, good ways, everybody think. If we think bad things, then now that Tibetan some story, then one he asked the teacher. Your teacher explain the good things, of course your teacher she will answer, of course very easily, but it's for me also. Maybe go too easily. But if you talk about bad things, then of course I'm not valuable, I'm not hope, but even your teacher also. That's pretty.
It's most likely to fall into the lower realms. Anyway, so someone was saying that when you talk about the benefits of the Dharma practice, Dharma teachings, it has great benefit. If you practice this, you have a lot of benefits. And it feels like even if you do small practice, it has so a great benefit that it becomes so easy. When you talk about the harms, like if you do something small, bad things, it can cause you to be in hell for a long, long time like that. And it's not like, wow, there's no hope, that I can escape from this. So that's why someone says, when you talk about the benefits, let alone you, teacher, even I feel like I'm going to be enlightened so quickly. Or when you talk about the bad things that can happen from that, let alone me, even you, teacher, and it's likely to fall into the lower realm. So if you when you're talking about the results of despising a guru, we might think that in a very simple way, we might have despised our gurus, and then the result of that would be so heavy, that that we'd have to be in the hell realm for years and years. And when you think like that, then it is very easy, because it's very easy to create the kind of negative karma, and therefore, let alone the teachers, even let alone me, even the teachers might have created that negative karma, and it's likely to fall into low realms. But if you haven't met with the guru, then you haven't created this kind of negative karma, right? And so consciously you know what kind of gurus you have met and how much, what way you have treated the guru. So if you haven't created that kind of negative karma, then there's nothing for you to worry about.
Okay.
But anyway, it is important understand what is good, what is bad, right? So then we can avoid the bad and create the good. So therefore, studying is very important.
그리고 작업 과정에 자리 나무로도 너무 많나 나도 칼로 통화 맞으면 나도 하고 물어봤어.
So if there's a cup of tea, whether it is sweet or not, depends whether you have tasted it or not. You can just tell it whether it's sweet or not by looking at it.
그러다 같이 가려다 나도 딱 내가 하고 어떻게 좀 잘해.
And so it is important to understand. It's very important to know about the things.
Okay, 그거 homework.
You can read it.
Yeah, you can read.
The mic, right?
What was the condition giving rise to the clairvoyance of being able to read the subtlest workings of the mind of animals? At a distance, it would have taken a vulture 18 days to reach it in Drong's mind.
Forgot everybody?
What was the condition giving rise to the clairvoyance of being able to read the subtlest workings of the mind of animals? At a distance, it would have taken a vulture 18 days to reach it in Drong's mind. From Topa?
Why he got?
How did he go?
How did he got the clairvoyant? That kind.
Quick, Troy.
When the teacher was ill, just leave it on. When the teacher was ill, he took care of Atisha and carried out his species in his hands with pure devotion to the teacher.
Yeah, that's good, correct. Think with it, land of
Yeah, so I asked the question from the text, and the answer is there also in the text, right?
It's good. It shows your study. Or you keep the same assuming it was.
So, so there's the sign that you have studied, kept in your mind.
Not liquorless. Not 다 가게 하고서 와서 같이 나도 가라 되어 왔어. 아니 다시 니들 야부쳐놨다 늘 배치 모여를 감송 와서.
So anyway, if you devote properly to your guru through thought and action, then these are the benefits that you receive.
Okay, everybody got his answer?
Yeah.
같이 뭐 강연 처음이나 같이 가려 장소로 맡게 다시 그래 출시 때문에나 다시 문제를 사그래.
So if you serve guru, and in that way, like when he's ill and so forth, if you serve him, without regarding the feces as filthy and so forth, and serve him, then these are the results you will achieve.
양 삼성이 나도 다 진이들 다 가려다 요거 죽었는데 요거까지 주고 말해서 와요. 대야.
In order to devote to the guru, it doesn't mean that you have to serve him all the time.
Otherwise, if you say, well, I have to go there, 근데 말에 가지다 소소 생각이 대화 진짜 말고 이거 어려울까?
And the most important thing is to have a pure devotion, faith in him.
아니 신이다 삼성에 라마라는 무슨 것을 하고 대고 말했는데 소소 대화용이 아니 보고 뭐 같이 해서 소소 얘들 라마 때는 좋아요.
So if you find somebody who's teaching you Dharma, who you have faith in, then he can be your guru. Doesn't matter whether the person is ordained or a lay or female or man, doesn't matter. So some people they say that if they couldn't find a teacher, where should they look for a teacher?
You need to go to Google. Search. Okay, second question.
Question 2. Why will one not fall into the lower realms if one devotes to the Guru in the proper way?
Okay. Who's giving answer? It's just we talked about last week, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
You just guess?
Well, guess with some
Sometimes guess makes
background
sense.
knowledge. I don't have a quote from the text, but well, if you're devoting yourself properly to the Guru, then you're following the Guru's instructions to the letter, to everything, and if the Guru is a good Guru, worthy of devotion, then he will guide you or she will guide you to enlightenment. So there's no way, if you follow everything perfectly, that you could
나도 그런 개개 송화를 나도 제발이나 근데 계속 되게 많았어.
Are you looking some tricks or you just thinking?
No, I was just thinking.
그렇지. 그래. 간지 신이 강원 소가 소주 제가 있나? 아니 소주부터 개별에 먹어서 사와 있나? 아니 그냥 소금 되게 끼워 비식해서 그거 새로 그래.
So the right guru, a guru who is qualified, guru, a teacher who is qualified guru, will teach you the path, to enlightenment. Will not teach you to create new karmas, right? Only teach you to create positive karmas. So if you follow just as he teach, then definitely you will not fall into the law. So that's the seventh benefit of following guru, right? So the answer is what David said.
Good. Everybody think about that same way? All of the way. Sometimes, when we was teaching, I was also teaching time. And, teacher always caution, giving us, explanation or something. Sometimes we guess. Sometimes if we know a little better, we don't want to say it. We don't doubt it. Maybe I said it wrong. Everybody,
Which is me.
Yeah. 이제는 소식 진사를 그 나가이나 나도 도바세로 그래 신발 패는 거 봤어.
Even if you have doubt, if you say it out, if it's right, then you will have others, and you'll be clear of your doubts, right?
근데 다 영셔야 돼. 간절하게 조속한가. Follow the David's answer. David Jen. Good answer. 다 좋았음 봐. This is maybe a little difficult. Third question.
As the text says, you will effortlessly achieve all short and long-term aims. What are the short and long-term aims it is referring to?
Anybody else? 시간이 들려야 돼. 다 신의 때가 사실 지화되게 나온다고 해요. 그래야 될 정도. 좀 따위시.
So we went through that also last time, right? So your short-term and long-term aims will be achieved easily if you rely on a guru properly.
You know what I'm saying?
So what is the short-term aim?
Short-term, yeah.
Short-term is a good rebirth and happiness in this life. And long-term aims would be full enlightenment.
Oh, good. Give us that.
Short-term aims would be happiness in this life and a good rebirth. And long-term aims would be full enlightenment.
Good. You have to give something there. It's good, yeah. 내가 다투는데 내가 그러고 내가 하다 믿고 막 다투 고 막.
So the temporary or the short term will be the higher rebirth as human and God, and then the long term will be the definite goodness, the liberation in the enlightenment. Right?
Good. Everybody understand? 단다되게 저한테 나를 무슨 양보고 주주가 특제시 되는 거지. 이 삭제 계획이 나를 무슨 양보나 특시.
So that's the verse for that, right? Do you see that?
Pages it down. So verse 73?
Yeah. The outline 73. Outline number 73.
Yeah, good. Everybody see the verses?
It says, briefly, when you rely on a spiritual guide, in the short term, free of unfavorable states, you gain good rebirth as gods and humans. Ultimately, all samsara suffering will end, and you will achieve the supreme excellent state.
Good. All together. Good. Anybody understand? Good, yeah. Good. Today everybody give very good answers. How next you also send that. 지나다 저도 야보시라도 아니 투지 챘어. 거기 로를 저 지금도 투지 챘어. I would like to say thank you for everybody. You guys are very hardworking, very good study out of the practice. But first we study, then practice. But study is very important, and I would like to say everybody really thank you very much. I know everybody has very hard work, take care of the families, go there, do that, talk that, but still get a little bit time to study. It's a very good benefit all sensibilities. If you do practice, if you don't practice, but you know, then you can benefit for you. It's very good. And just slowly, sometimes, doesn't make sense, anything, because we don't understand that. If people are, nothing makes sense, and they don't understand it very well. Because we doesn't go too deep, then we don't have much make sense. But slowly, how much we can study, practice, everything. And I would like to say thank you everybody. And, she said, time to go. It's okay. Anyway, very good, everybody study, practice. I always, I'm thinking about also I would say, you guys have, problem to language, problem to chess, not easy to study, Even sometimes the Tibetan translate English, then something don't make sense also, Then change their meanings, but everybody study very hard work, and spend the time to study, Of course we have to work. Of course we have to go job, Go enjoy our life, Just your life. Maybe who lives long life, maybe 95. It's a longer one, maybe 95. But we have to, join.
So you have to enjoy your life as well. Shouldn't feel stressed, thinking that, you can't do this, you can't do that, and if you're studying Buddhism. While studying Buddhism and practicing Buddhism, you can still enjoy your life. Sometimes people don't know how to study or practice properly, and instead they create so much stress for themselves. So that's a mistake, and you should not feel that way. So while studying and practicing, you can also enjoy your life, do the things that you like to do, that doesn't cause harm to others. And, you can enjoy yourself, and it's good to do that. So while we're studying Buddhism, while we're studying and while we're practicing Dharma, is to have happiness, right? And so it's not only talking about the happiness of liberation or enlightenment, but even the happiness that we want to have in everyday life. We're practicing for that too. And so we should enjoy as much as possible as well. Of course, we have to know how to apply the practice in a proper way, so that whatever we do will become enjoyable and become part of the practice. So if we know that, then everything that we do in a 24-hour can become enjoyable and become Dharma practice as well.
Okay? That's it. Otherwise, Buddhism said, don't go to
So it's not saying that you can't experience those enjoyments at all.
Only half Sunday, whatever you want, you can do. Question?
Yes, you mentioned about that if you do something that despises the guru, you have to do purify it based on the guru, the same person. Is it true about the other beings, also other sentient beings, and if you do something wrong to another person, you have to purify it based on that person also?
Yeah,
믿음에는 같이 왔어. 서로 적어라. 근데 샤사들은 믿지 나면은 믿음에는 그들은 같이 샤고했어.
믿음에가 있나다. 믿음이 매로 들리지 저러. 영문 상지도 자주도 끌어들이게.
사모를 고르면 돼.
시다 나라도 그만 대탐 대탐만 이상 말.
사모 고마. 그래서 센지 세타나 그 센지 잡아들다. 센지를 라. So I don't think I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think you need, thinking about a logic, thinking in a logical way. I don't think it is necessary to do that on every sentient being. If you have to do that, that would be kind of impossible, right? Virtually impossible to purify the negative karma. Like, the ant that you have killed on the road, and you even didn't know you have killed it. And how will you purify that by depending on the ant, right? Logically, if you think it that way, then it doesn't make sense that you have to purify the negative karma by depending on that particular sentient being. For guru is different, like it's not common, right? But yeah, other negative karmas, of course, if you purify it, if you engage in some kind of practice, of purification with a strong sense of regret and so forth, then it can be purified. So something like that. Anyway, for any kind of purification, you have to have the regret, the remorse. Without remorse, none of the negative karmas will be purified.
I killed our birth. You guys. I killed our birth when I was a kid. I knew I'm killing. When I was a kid, I killed our birth for the saddle. But anyway, maybe you guys never killed that.
So of course, if you kill sentient beings, that's taking the life away from the sentient beings, then this is a very strong negative karma. So, I think it's more negative karma. I mean, more. It's worse. It's worse if you have the delusions, strong delusions in your mind, like the attachment, anger, ignorance, and so forth. That will, in the long run, it will be more damaging, more causing problem to yourself and to other sentient beings, rather than just causing some harm, physically causing some harm at that very moment. That problem is created and that's gone already. But then if you keep harboring these delusions in your mind, that can cause a lot of much more serious problems for yourself and others. So even if you're not doing physically something, but if you have this thought, intention in your mind, thinking, how should I create it? How should I harm these people? How should I harm this country and so forth? So that thought, can create more distortions. So it is that thought, planning or thinking how I can create, how I can create a problem or how I can cause harm to other beings. That thought creates negative karma. Just by having delusion in your mind, you don't create negative karma. Because the delusions are there all the time with us, right? Even when we're sleeping, delusions are there, but doesn't mean that we're creating the karma all the time, just by having delusions. And so anyway, so whenever it manifests, whenever those delusions arise in the mind, and then we follow them in action, then that will create the karma.
Okay?
So possible that we should have a good heart. That's very important. So if when it causes, when it cannot benefit, then should not cause harm. Quite what is it? Not my Jurmuchin. How was it? 나도 랍사 저 랜더 잡사라. 일단 저런 게죠. 가오가오 버려서.
당연히
가죠.
I talk just differently, You have any questions? Yeah.
And here it says that if somebody practices Tantra throughout day and night, they're very devoted to that and they're very skilled in it, but they despise their guru, that they'll only get harm, they won't get any benefit. What about somebody who's very poor at keeping their vows, they're very poor at practice, but they cherish their guru? So what if it's like the reverse? They cherish all their gurus, but they're very poor at keeping their vows and their practices and everything.
So 일단 너보다 정말 장난하거든요. 냠들 수준 다 이제는 냠들 수준 제거이나 다 신경제에서 나오나? 이런 게 받는 일이라서 그래서 다 가서 뒤로 올라다 신경제 수준 때문에 이나 나 송자도 잡고 마송하지. 냠들 잡고 맞아버리는 좀 그래.
대라 뒷발에서 대야고 말. 소리도 송고. 왕도 시소.
That Tuesday to come is not good.
그래서 왕 시소 소리도 송고 계속 전화해 그래.
So once you have taken the commitments, it is very important to keep them properly.
이 가능성이 라이브 되잖아. 자살이나 계시마다 말이야. 왕시도 좀 말씀만 배워드릴 수도 이것은.
So because keeping commitment is very serious, that in Tibet there was kind of custom, to not take initiation before you become Geshe.
가능한 팅하다 그거 내가 먹었다. 소리가 그렇게 신고가 말이야. 아직 가르쳐라고 라면 먹어요.
So because before that, you don't have time. One thing is you don't have time. Other thing that you might not even understand the commitments as well. You have to know the commitments as well to be able to keep them, right? If you don't know, then you don't keep them. You don't know what to keep them, and you will keep them, you break them. So negative karma is created just like that, so easily. Therefore, to be cautious of that, and I encourage not to take initiations until you really understand about it. So the commitments, of course, is very difficult to observe it 100%, but you try your best to observe as much as possible. And so, I mean, even if you haven't despised your guru, but if you don't keep the vows purely, then you are not following the guru 100%, right? So still take that karma.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, now we start. Thank you, everybody. Happy.
Close out for us, right?
Half Sunday. Half Sunday.
Please turn to page 39 for our Thanksgiving mandala offering, followed by final honor and prayer. Shanti.